The Biden administration is taking heat, rightly so. Why? Well, it's striking a deal with Iran to swap prisoners. Okay, that can be a good thing. But is this the right deal? They're going to give Iran $6 billion in frozen Iranian funds. Remember that. You're going to hear people say, and you're giving them $6 million of our tax dollars. It's not true. It's not $6 billion of your tax dollars. It's frozen assets. But still, what are they going to do with that money? Use it for good things or bad things? 5 prisoners on each side to be exchanged. The State Department said, they said the point that I'm giving you right now, which is no money, no taxpayer money is going. It's true, but you're still giving them a huge chunk of cash they can use to do bad things, okay? It's a terrorist state. The swap is said to be part of a bigger effort to de-escalate tensions with Iran. Now, the other side of that is a lot of people feel like you shouldn't be trying to allay tension. You should be applying more tension. And if you're the stronger person, you should play with might makes right against the terrorist organization. That's the argument. The U.S. says the $6 billion can only be used for humanitarian goods. How do we control that? Now, the swap is causing a lot of frustration, even outrage, for families and representatives of U.S. prisoners in Iran that are not included in the swap. Joining us is Giselle Sharmahd. Okay, her father, Jamshid Sharmahd, has been in an Iranian prison for 3.5 years. Okay, he's a U.S. national. He came to the United States in 2003. In 2009, an Iranian tried to kidnap him and murder him. Why? Because he's an activist speaking about the horrors of what's happening in that terrorist state. 2020, they tried to kill him in the United States, by the way. In 2020, he was kidnapped in Dubai. He had a stopover on a trip and brought to Iran, where he's been held in prison for 3.5 years. Dubai says they're going to help. They're not even answering any of our calls now, and they're supposed to be our friend. He is not part of the deal to swap prisoners. We're also joined by the family's lawyer, Jason Poblete. He has multiple clients who are held in Iran and not part of this swap. Giselle, first I want to start with you. Thank you very much. I know how hard this is for your family. I know that you've had to put your life on hold and focus on getting your father home. What does this situation mean to you?
Thank you so much for, first and foremost, Chris, to have me on the show. I've been campaigning to save my dad's life for 3 years now, and I wish I would have been on a show because that would have made my life so much easier. So thank you for being the first one that gives me the voice to talk about what I feel right now. And as you clearly explained, the Biden administration is doing some kind of deal, some kind of negotiation is going down, which we all don't approve of, but especially me, as the daughter of a U.S. national that's been held hostage in Iran, who was kidnapped and taken there by force and has right now a death sentence. I am all for getting Americans back home. Don't get me wrong, I want every single family to come back. But why are we cherry-picking cases? And what are we basing these cherry-picking, the criteria on? How do we decide? Does the president just look at the cases and pick 5 of them that he likes or that are the easiest? Why are we not bringing my dad back right now? My dad is right now in a courtroom. They call it a courtroom, in a kangaroo court in the Islamic regime. You know who's next to him right now on the stand? The U.S. government, the Islamic regime, has made a kangaroo court for my dad and the former representatives of the U.S. government, namely Mike Pompeo, everybody in the Trump administration. They were served, that's what the Islamic regime said, but they didn't show up except for my dad, because my dad wouldn't have showed up either, but he was kidnapped and taken there. They're making a big show out of this sham trial to show their power, to show that this is never going to be over. You cannot give these hostage takers money and expect that they will act in a humane way, that they will not continue their terror on U.S. citizens, on U.S. nationals, on U.S. administration, on activists and journalists like my dad. They're continuing to do that as we speak, as we're sending them the billions of dollars right now. That's what the news was this morning in Iran, that my dad and the U.S. government is in court in Iran.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.